Hey guys, Brent from Cosmic Training Systems here. Today I'm going to go over carb cycling and how you can use our little calculator here to set up your own carb cycling diet. So carb cycling is basically just having different amounts of carbs on different days of the week. And you can set it up different ways, but the most common ways to do it on training, you have a training day, a rest day, and then you can also have a refeed day as well, but you don't have to. Some people just have training days and rest days. But the big benefit of carb cycling is that you're going to have improved insulin sensitivity. So basically, your insulin sensitivity is how well your body uses carbohydrates. So are they going to go towards muscle or are they going to go towards fat? So obviously, you want them to go towards muscle. So having that improved insulin sensitivity is a big thing. So, and also the other benefit is your carb intake matches your training load. So basically, if you're training, obviously it's better to have high carbs on those days, and you're going to get high performance, which is a good thing. So how do you start? So to start first, you've got to get an idea of how many calories and what sort of macros you're taking in at the moment, and then you can base your numbers off that. So if you can figure that out, what are your calories, where are your macros at, and then you can sort of go up or down from there. So if you're fat loss like it is here, then you figure out, and if you figure out you're eating 3,000 calories a day, then you might drop it down to 2,600, or if you're trying to gain some muscle, then you might bump it up to 3,500. So you figure out where you start. If you don't know where you start, then you can just use these multipliers just here. So we got 33. So body weight times 33 is sort of considered a basal calories, or maintenance calories. So if you don't have an idea, just start there. And as you can see here, we've got minus 500 calories on training days, minus 500 on rest days. And we have a refeed day, which is plus 500. So having that refeed day just means that you're not in a deficit every day of the week, and it's going to spike some nice hormones like leptin and insulin a bit more on that day to keep your metabolism turning over how we want it to. So yeah, if you're not sure, just start at 33, and if you're in fat loss, go minus 500. Or if you want to, if you're trying to gain some muscle, then you can chuck it up to say 500. You can have this at 0 and have a big refeed day at 1,000 like that. And you can see when I change those numbers, all this changes. So putting 500, this goes up to 3,800. And when I put in 1,000 here, this goes up to 4,300. So when I change these, so like at the moment, we've got 285 grams of protein, 380, 127. If I change this back to minus 500, all those numbers change: 210, 280, and 93. So it's set up so all the numbers automatically change, and also you can change your percentages as well. So see down here, we've got on training day protein at 30, carbs at 40, fat at 30. So you can change these percentages and it will automatically change the macros as well. So this here is just changing the calories up here. And then once you've got your calories set for each day, this back to minus 500, it changes also. You can adjust the weight as well. So say I weigh about 100 kilos here, survival is a 60 kilo female, go boom, all the macros automatically change on the calories as well to suit. So you can really adjust this a fair bit, and it's pretty handy to use once you get used to it. So go for me. I'll show you a fat loss one. Like I said, if you change the percentages, so look at this. So we want to go change this a bit. So we've got 35 protein, 35 carbs, and 30 fat. Then all the macros change as well. Or if you wanted to bring this up, you could go 40 and 10 or whatever. And as long as these equal 100, obviously because they want the total percentage to equal 100, and all these numbers change. So we're 35 and 15 again. So you can do like a fair bit. So if you're doing, like I said, if you're going to go try and gain some muscle, you might go training day. We'll just go like a plus 500, and then rest day we'll have a bit less because we don't want to gain too much fat. We want to keep it pretty solid. We only want to make small changes when you're adjusting your diet. You don't want to have big swings in your nutrient intake. It's better just to make small changes and adjust it every 1 or 2 weeks. And then on your refeed day, you go like 1,000, say. And so your refeed days is good to put on your hardest training day. So for example, legs day. So if you're doing 4 days a week, you would have 3 days sitting and the training day setup, your 3 rest days on the rest day setup, and then you'd have your hardest training day, for example, like legs day, on this setup. So in this setup here, we got 50% carbs, which is a big chunk. So we got, for me, that would be 538 grams a day, which is a good amount. And then see on the rest day, it's obviously a lot less at 124, and then on a training day, it's sort of in between at 333. So you can see, obviously, to compensate for that, on the rest days, we've got much more high percentage of fat. And then on the refeed day, because there's so many carbs, we bring the fat right down because you don't need as much. So, yeah, so you can do a fair bit with this calculator. It's pretty handy. And I think carb cycling is probably my favorite method to set up a diet to get the best results. A lot of people say that you can't gain muscle and lose fat at the same time, but I would say that you just can't do it at the exact same time. So, for example, if you're training at night, I could say that I reckon you'd be preferentially burning fat in the morning. So in the morning you'd be having your protein and fat meals, and then in the evening and afternoon, that's when you can be supporting muscle growth and recovery. So you can do them both at the same time. And we have clients every week who we measure them up, and they're down fat and up in muscle, and they can do it for months at a time. So it's just about providing the right training stimulus and getting the right setup for the right person, and also the daily timing. So this isn't got anything to do with daily timing. This is just how much to have on each day. But for example, on a training day, I would be going like if I was training at night, I'd have proteins and fats in the morning and lunch. And then in the afternoon before training, I'd have protein carb meal. And then after training, I'd probably have protein carb shake. And then after dinner, I'd have protein carb meal. So stacking as much carbohydrates as I can around those workouts. And then on a rest day, I'd pushing my carbohydrates towards the end of the day. So this is like the opposite of what most people say. Most people say, "I have your carbs in the morning and low carb in the evening." It's much better to have your carbs at night. There's a bunch of reasons for that, which I'm not going to go into. But so rest days as well, I'd be having protein, fats in the morning, and pushing my carbs at night. You're going to sleep like a baby, and it's going to be much better. And the key is in the tweak. So you got to tweak every week. Yeah. So giving yourself a diet and starting off with whatever setup doesn't mean anything. It's how you tweak it. So you got to see how your body responds. Have you gained fat? Have you dropped too much weight? Are you gaining muscle nicely? And then adjust it from there. So you just tweak it. You can tweak it for a few hundred calories every week. You can change this multiplier as well. So if I change this, if I go 30, it all goes up and down as well. It changes everything. So yeah, you can change the multiplier, and you can change the deficit surplus, change the percentages, and change the body weight. So there's plenty you can do with it. So give it a go. Scroll down, download it. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, hit me up in the